Welcome to a brand new episode of Rehashing, where each week we break down the top entertainment news stories and recap a whole lot of The Bachelor. Hello, everybody.
Hey,
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, guys.
How's your week going?
Amazing. I got an illegal haircut, feeling fresh, feeling good.
It does look really good, actually.
Yeah, it does.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
But I will say you are
Yeah.
very much compensating for how I feel by your looks because, as we all know, or maybe we don't all know, Mercury is in retrograde. Did you guys know?
Well, we all know because we've just spent the last 10 minutes trying to get everyone's internet working properly.
I'm telling you, it affects everything. And for those of you listening that don't know what Mercury retrograde is, I'm about to blow your mind. A couple of years ago, my sisters and I were really not feeling well. We weren't feeling sick. We just weren't feeling well. And my dad was kind of saying that he felt the same thing. And the next day, we couldn't figure out what it was. And I think it was my sister Emily who came across an article talking about Mercury being in retrograde. Mercury is the planet that affects your humans' communication skills. Each planet represents different skills that we as humans have. And the Mercury planet represents communication. So if you're feeling like you can't get your thoughts together, like your work is all over the place, you're super tired and you can't get yourself going, which is exactly how I feel. It literally describes what Mercury retrograde is and how it happens 3 times a year. And basically what it is Mercury is typically aligned with the Earth in a certain direction, but at certain points of the year, it rotates. And when it rotates, it basically messes with certain things, it
just throws us all off our axis?
It throws us off our axis. And
that's why our Zoom is tripping out.
Yeah, because
Clearly.
technological issues is another part of what Mercury apparently represents.
Mercury doesn't want us to podcast tonight.
Mercury doesn't have a say.
Yeah,
so we're all just doing our best. If any of you out there, are feeling off and you don't know why, it's because of Mercury. So,
and if you are watching on YouTube and you happen to notice a little glitch, it's just Mercury.
Yeah, basically Mercury's in retrograde and none of us are well. That's what it comes down to.
I'm unwell.
Yeah, we're not well.
Okay, let's get it started on a recap from what happened this week. We could start with Archie, baby Archie. His birth certificate was changed. Meghan Markle, her name was removed from it.
Sorry, what?
You look confused, Adina.
Yeah, what?
When did Meghan Markle have a child?
What?
Are you kidding?
Did I
Wait, sorry.
Wait, what?
Okay, wait.
I feel this is the second week in a row that Adina said something, and Liana and I are just I
can't tell if you're kidding or not.
No, I'm not. I feel like
so you know that Meghan Markle from Suits, you know who she is, right?
Yes, I know who Meghan Markle
and she's married to Prince Harry.
Yes. Beauty.
And that they
Prince
had a
Harry.
baby.
Yes, I keep seeing it in the news that she keeps having miscarriages. Poor her. I keep feeling so bad. I didn't know she had a child.
So before the miscarriage article, she had a baby Archie. I'm pretty sure he has red hair too, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'm repressing these memories, these readings. I don't know.
I think you have to be.
I think
I'm usually very with it with the royals.
I think it's just one of those things that maybe
well, they're fake royals now. They don't even they're not even royal unless they're doing royal duties.
Yeah.
I feel like an imbecile.
A lot has happened with the royals and Meghan and Harry, and I just feel maybe it was announced and you just forgot.
Big story is that Meghan Markle's name was changed on baby Archie's birth certificate. Originally, it had said Rachel Meghan, and then it was, hold on, I had to write it down, her title, because I didn't know it off by heart.
The Duchess
of Rachel,
Sussex.
the Royal Highness Duchess of Sussex. So now it just says that. It doesn't say Rachel Meghan. But then they also changed Prince Harry's, which no one really talked about that, but in the article I was reading, they added Prince in his, because originally the birth certificate said His Royal Highness Henry Charles Albert David, Duke of Sussex. And they added Prince before Harry. So now it's His Royal Highness Prince. Oh, I had Henry in my notes. Did I say Henry? Whoops.
I'm so confused. They changed.
Clearly, Mercury needs to F off for an hour.
There you go. You don't know how to communicate. because
I'm
of
literally
Mercury.
struggling to tell this story. Anyways, Meghan Markle's name was changed from her son's birth certificate. It was the Royal Palace's decision. Does anyone have a better story to talk about?
Can you say that with a bit more life, perhaps?
I like how she said it.
No, the Kardashians released their season 20 trailer, the final season of the Kardashians. It premiered in 2007. For those of you who don't know, we were in grade 7, living in the world where Facebook was just created. It was a beautiful year to be alive. And we got so many spin-offs of the show. And I don't know about you guys, but I was a huge fan for the
Hey,
all
I
these years.
don't know how I managed to make it to 2021 when the show came out in 2007 and still have not seen an episode of the Kardashians.
Yeah, that actually shocks me given how like much of a reality person lover that you are. So
I know it's embarrassing
Yeah.
a bit. I've never seen a single, like, I've seen like random scenes, but I've never sat down to watch an episode in my life.
you should. It's really good.
I've watched the show since it like season 1, and I was kind of like a closeted fan of the show because I feel like people teased me a little bit, and then so I was big super fan, and then I kind of stopped watching for a little bit, and then recently I've started watching again, and I'm very, very sad. But back to when I was a super fan, they had this store in Vegas, this like like merchandise store, and when I was like 18 years old, my family was in
18?
Vegas over Christmas time.
18?
And I had received some Hanukkah geld, and I chose to spend it all in this store. I bought tote bags. I bought, remember, silly bands? They had the Kardashian silly bands. I bought a pen. I was so mad I didn't have enough money to buy a towel.
But you were 18. It's not like you were 12. Like, did you not have more?
I really thought you were gonna say I was like 13 when this
Yeah.
happened, like when it first
You know, I
aired.
thought about not saying my age, but
You should have went with not saying it.
She didn't have
Well-
enough money to buy.
a silly band. She didn't have enough
At
money to
18.
buy a silly band at 18.
and like when my parents told me that we were going to Vegas, I was like, oh my God, they opened a Kardashian store. I need to go. And I remember, I think my dad took me to the store and he's like, okay, like,
oh my God, Alana.
here's your chance.
Epic.
Oh my god.
Well, let's leave
That's epic.
that when you were 18. Let's
Now
just
I have a healthy relationship. The tote bag I still have, but like I don't use it. Don't worry.
That's so
The
funny.
pink latex bag.
That's amazing.
Let's talk about all the great stories we're gonna get from the season though. Like they're still
God.
like Chloe and Tristan like are still like in cahoots. And then there's the Kimye divorce that we're gonna get in the final season. And most importantly,
Don't say it. I know what you're about to say.
say it.
Addison Rae will be featured in
Oh.
the final season. She was in the trailer.
Yeah.
TikTok. It all comes back to the
The most
TikTok.
important part is Kim's third divorce. And the fact that Kourtney
Her.
Kardashian is dating Travis Barker.
Like, can her and Scott just
And
get
then
back
Addison
together?
Rae.
Can her and Scott just get back
Mm.
together in the end? Like, I would much
He-
rather that, honestly.
She's not his type anymore.
I know,
She's
but
too old.
there's just something about them. Like, I picture them back in the beginning seasons. Like, he was so ugly back then.
As much of a shithead as he always was, and like how he obviously like I don't know if like he didn't treat her well, they didn't treat each other well, whatever. Like he's always been a huge part of the family, and like
Yeah.
it's her ex, but like he's literally a brother to all of them. Leanna's like, I know nothing.
I wish I had more to contribute. All I know is that the last
You
day
know-
of filming was the day that they announced their divorce. So like
Yeah.
Kris Jenner works harder than anyone.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
momager.
She's doing a
There's
great job.
always when there's like a big filming episode or it's the season's coming out, like it all happens like all at the same time. Like
Yeah.
it's not even like Kris Jenner's not even working hard anymore. It just comes naturally.
just happening.
I do think, though, Leanna, like, you will need to find a time to watch it. And I actually, like, Alana, I was like a huge fan at the beginning, then I stopped watching, and I feel like I'm gonna watch it again because I'm not caught up, but I would like to give them the time of day because the show is always entertaining. So hopefully the last season brings us everything we hope for and more, and I hope that we can like end it off on a really good note, you know?
Yes. I'm
Yeah.
very much looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next?
So there's no like easy segue into this story really, but the next thing we want to talk about is Lady Gaga and Tony Bennett just announced that they are going to be releasing a follow-up album to their Cheek to Cheek album, which came out in 2017, and it's a really exciting news, but it's also really sad because it was also announced that Tony has been suffering from Alzheimer's disease, and that along the process of, recording this album, it's been really hard, and he doesn't remember a lot of things, obviously, as, what happens with Alzheimer's, but apparently when they were filming some scenes and doing some songs, he kind of remembered as much as he could with the music. And I just like love Lady Gaga, and so I'm hoping it's gonna be special for them.
It's really crazy. Like there's research that proves that music really like jogs your memory, and for people with Alzheimer's, like they use that as a tactic to like make people who are suffering with Alzheimer's like lucid. So it's very crazy that like he may not have his mind now. And I know that in that article, Lady Gaga was saying how she was saying to him like, Tony, do you remember this? And you could just tell, she was like, you could tell that he does it, but he was just like, yeah, like he couldn't even really speak or like make coherent thoughts, but his music still comes to him, which is just like crazy. And obviously the power of the gift of music.
Yeah. And it's actually crazy. I mean, not to make this like really too personal or anything, but my grandmother had Alzheimer's disease and she was amazing at playing piano. And when we used to go visit her, we would take her to the room where there was a piano. And even though she couldn't fully remember like much, she would put her hands there and she would fully play. So
crazy.
Just like, I could imagine it's probably similar in the process with Lady Gaga and Tony Bennett. And like Tony Bennett was like a huge influence for her, and it helped her get into like her jazz music and everything. So, it's really sad, but hopefully it'll be like a nice uplifting thing for his family.
Well,
Sam, like literally you saying that, I was just about to say that it reminds me of The Notebook when Allie goes to play the piano.
Yeah.
And it just like all comes rushing back to her. Like it was like the number one thing I thought of when I was reading the Tony Bennett article. It was really beautiful.
Yeah, it's very true. That's a good point.
Looking forward to it.
Well, on a happier note about music, not that wasn't happy because I'm looking forward to that album, but exciting news in a music sense vibe. Broadway is coming to the silver screen, the big screen. A lot of different Broadway movies are now happening. So last week they announced that Dear Evan Hansen was coming to theaters as a musical movie, not like a film stage production, like literally a movie. Yeah. And Ben Platt, who was Evan Hansen on Broadway, is going to reprise his role, which is just everything we all need. So that's amazing. They also announced that Wicked is now becoming a movie, also like Dear Evan Hansen, totally filmed. And it's being directed by John M. Chu.
I can't, by the way. I
can't with that.
Who is that?
He directed the Justin Bieber movies, but recently the documentaries, that's how he like got kind of famous. But recently he just directed In the Heights, which is coming to like HBO Max, I think, in the summer.
Yeah.
And then another little Broadway stage to film is E1 just announced that they're going to film Come From Away, the story about all the planes that were rerouted on 9/11. That got rerouted to Gander, Newfoundland, that like then got totally grounded and there was like no resources there. But anyway, they're going to make that into some sort of theatrical experience. I think it's going to be kind of like what Hamilton was, like a filmed production, not an actual movie. But these are all amazing news, especially since we can't go to a theater. And like Sam and I love, I mean, I think all of you really love, but like I know Sam and I love Broadway.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you know this about me, but I was actually in a production of Wicked at Camp Neighbors of Ottawa in 2010.
Who were you?
I was a
Chorus
friend.
3.
No, I had some lines actually. I could find the pictures one day.
Okay, but like, who were you?
I was a friend to Alphaba.
I think you were probably actually a friend to Galinda because Alphaba has like no friends in the movie. That's the whole play. That's the whole plot.
You were 100. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, you know that. Yeah, Wicked is my favorite musical. I've seen it, I think 3 or 4 times. Twice in New York.
I've seen it twice.
Twice in Montreal, or once in Montreal. And I'm the most excited about that one. But I'm also really excited about Evan Hansen because it's a play that I've wanted to see, but I just never got the opportunity to. And now that everything's closed, like obviously I'm not going. So I know all the music, but I'm really excited to see how they do it in a movie. And I don't know, I'm always worried about how these things are going to come out because it's like Broadway is Broadway. Like there's nothing better than it. So I'm sure they'll do a good job.
Dear Evan Hansen is going to be great because if you remember, the the composers of
Yes.
Dear Evan
Oh my
Hansen are
God.
from Greatest Showman, and they are still on to do the movie. So we're not going to be disappointed. Like
Can't be
it's
disappointed.
literally impossible.
No,
Yeah.
and Ben Platt's dad is Mark Platt, who's like the biggest movie and Broadway producer. Like he produced Wicked, but he also produced like every 90s rom-com movie we love. Like literally name a movie, he produced it. And I think he's on board too. So it's just going to be a fabulous cinematic experience.
And it comes out this year, right? It's supposed to come out in like the fall
September
or something.
September, yeah.
That's soon.
That's a really talented family, the Platt family, but
Oh.
that's a whole
They're the
other
best.
story. I
Yeah.
am very excited about that news story as a whole.
Yeah,
Like,
same. It's
all of
going to be
those
so
things.
good. It's going to be, we're just going to be blessed.
Yeah, we're gonna be blessed.
wicked. It'll defy gravity.
Good one,
Ooh,
Alana.
a pun.
So is it time?
I think it's time.
it's time.
I just want to say,
Finally.
I just want to acknowledge how every single episode we like, we go through the stories, we're very passionate about them, go through the motions, and then finally someone just goes, is it time? Like it's as if it's like the best part of all of our weeks, getting to talk about The Bachelor. And there's a lot to say, as always. So
Well,
take it away, Alana.
Bachelor Nation updates are just the most important and the most fun. So first we need to talk about Dylan Barber of Dylan and Hannah G. He went on a Twitter rant, was it over the weekend? And he pretty much is just like, cancel ABC, cancel Bachelor. And he was spilling the tea. He had like people were writing in questions and he was answering them. He was talking about Leanna. I think you said you saw tweets and you're going to pull them up.
Yeah, okay. I took screenshots because some of them were so wild, and now they're all gone. That's what's like so crazy. That's why I took a screenshot the second that he was tweeting them. I was like,
deleted?
screenshot, they're all gone.
Really?
Good
I'm
for
not
you.
surprised.
Yeah, so this is what he first tweeted. He goes, cancel ABC and The Bachelor. Kind of want to air out their dirty laundry. Mom got me all riled up. So then people were like, are you kidding? So this is what one girl asks. She goes, was there anything they told you to say that you refused? He goes, all the time. You got to understand the game. They get paid off you doing shit that warrants screen time. How effed is this?
Yeah,
so
that's
this
crazy.
just brings me back to like the theory from Unreal when like all the producers huddle at the beginning of the season and then they select their girls for their roster and they get bonuses based on who on their roster, like how far they make it and how crazy the things could be that they make.
Unreal is a TV show, by the way, that basically is like about like a bachelor, like how the Bachelor gets filmed. It's not like a documentary.
It's a fictionalized story.
Yeah, there was one tweet that someone asked if it was similar to Unreal or something like that. And he was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Yeah, he was like, it's not far
verbatim,
off.
though. Yeah.
Crazy. So that
There
one
was
was
some
insane.
other crazy ones though.
Yeah. So then there was another one saying, how much control do the producers have? He was like, all control, which we know, but just crazy to hear someone like blatantly put it out there. Someone was like, do they actually tell the lead who to stay on for the views? Yes.
We just saw that with Victoria.
It's crazy though. Well, the
Green Bay.
producers have the villain of the season receive a rose, even if the lead doesn't want to give them one. Yes. Can they force a lead to pick a winner inadvertently? So yes. And then this one was so interesting. So someone wrote, I heard on Becca Martinez, who was on Aries season, on her podcast that they made girls put on their first night dresses weeks later if they didn't have the right interview sound bites. Isn't that crazy? So their makeup may be different, but they're wearing the same dresses.
Interesting.
How
You know what?
Manipulated.
Well,
it's crazy.
I don't know if you guys saw, but Sean and Catherine did a Q&A last night during The Bachelor, and they were kind of asking similar questions. And Catherine was saying, like, why did you guys keep the villains for so long? And he's like, they don't tell us anything. They want us to keep them. Like, they don't tell us like who's wrong and who's right and like all these things. Like, you're completely blind. I thought that was so interesting.
Especially when especially I feel like when there's a villain at like so much at the beginning of the season, like it doesn't I think that's a really good point to make, like, and we'll talk about Victoria more after, but like when there's a villain at the beginning and there's so many issues in the house, like the Bachelor doesn't really know about that because he doesn't know the girls enough.
So true.
And he just probably listens to what the producers say, especially Matt, who like came in blind, he didn't know what to expect.
Right. That's true.
Anyway, Liana, do you have the one about like Hannah B and Jed? Because I feel like
I was gonna say that's the most shocking, most shocking one.
I didn't screenshot that one. I don't know why, but I remember it perfectly because I've read literally every article. But basically, someone were saying like who got wrongfully edited by the show, and he was like Jed, and then someone replied like, does that mean that what we saw is not true? Like, did Jed not cheat on Hannah? And he didn't reply, but then Jed went on Instagram and was like, thank you to Dylan for putting this on Twitter. Thank you to this girl named Sam who like did this viral.
No,
TikTok.
he did answer it. He said
He did?
yes. Yeah. It said like, did that mean like he didn't cheat on Hannah and he didn't have a girlfriend? And Dylan answered.
said, yeah?
He literally just yes, the same way he tweeted and just said Jed.
I don't believe the story, and whether Jed cheated or not, he still went to the end with no intention of going to the end.
Yeah.
He
Like,
also
it still was no mention. Like, did he even like Hannah? Like, that was never mentioned in any of his tweets, or like, okay, cool, he didn't cheat on his girlfriend, but he still went on with ill intentions and led our queen on.
I
so
agree.
he said he was going to give an update on his YouTube. I thought it was funny that he has a YouTube, but I don't care.
No, I
to
think
be
that
honest
in the
about
end, he
him.
said he was going to drop a podcast episode tonight. So I think when it's coming up tonight, Jed saw it, as if anyone gives a fuck. Like,
Okay, well, if anyone wants to listen and give me a recap,
I don't want to give him my money. I don't want to give him my views.
Also, I
don't
just
like
want to
them.
acknowledge how much I love Dylan and Hannah. And I feel like Dylan
Yeah,
can
they are very
honestly do
cute.
no wrong. Like, I feel like after everything they went through in Paradise with the whole like love triangle with Hannah G and Blake and Dylan. And I just feel like Hannah and Dylan are super happy together and they're so cute. And I love that Dylan just like went off and like
Sam,
I agree.
The best thing I saw on Instagram all week was when TMZ announced that Stagecoach and Coachella are canceled, and someone posted that on their Instagram and was like, someone needs to do a wellness check on Blake.
Yeah.
Because
Oh
for
my
those of you who
God.
don't know, when Blake was on Bachelor in Paradise a couple of years ago, there was a huge like love square triangle. I don't know, because of
an
something
octagon.
literally that happened at Stagecoach. So every year it's like, last year when Stagecoach was canceled, it was like, oh my God, Blake, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I love Blake. I know everyone hates him, but I just picture him in Becca Kufrin's season, and I don't know.
I think he got caught up. I think he grew up a regular guy, probably didn't get a lot of female attention, and then he was on The Bachelorette, and I think he went pretty far, and he wanted to capitalize on that, and he took his bod to Stagecoach and got some girls, led some on, and like he probably just like bloomed later on in life, and this is what it was.
Next, Nick Viall and his girlfriend have finally gone public. They've been together like over a year. Apparently they were Instagram official now.
Okay, but we've been
that's
talking
awesome.
about this for so long because she's been posting pictures like in his backyard with the pool, and everyone's known that they've been together. That she's like 20 something and he's 40.
Oh,
And yeah, they
Good for
became
him.
Insta official. She like posted a video. Did you guys see the video that she posted?
No.
Oh, he was like doing this like VR thing, and she was like trying to kiss him, and he was like, "Don't, you're distracting me. You're gonna get me killed," because he's like doing this VR thing. Anyway, they're official, and then they were like spotted on a hike, and he was like fully masked, and she wasn't. Because the old people need to be more careful with COVID.
I like him now. I think his podcast is great. I love listening to it.
He's a good host.
He's a good host. He gets good people. He asks good questions. You know what? He didn't do so hot on Andy's season. He didn't do so hot on Caitlin's season. He did okay in Paradise. He made an okay Bachelor. And now he's thriving.
Overall, he was just mediocre, and now he's still mediocre, maybe a little better, but
yeah.
Apparently today, we have found out that Tayshia and Zach are finally filming their After the Final Rose. That will air at some point at the end of the season, which is very exciting because we never got that closure, and we've only been able to get that through what we see on Instagram. So I'm ready to hear like all the details, how they're living. I thought was really cute I think it was like a premiere for her episode, like because she wasn't at the beginning of the season. He like made like a little surprise party for her with like a Cheeto tower, and it's just like
so cute.
I want a Cheeto tower.
Yeah. No, it's so cute. And I love that we figured this out based on our sleuthing. Like we knew that today they were filming Women Tell All because everyone has been like talking about it online, and Lauren Zima's there. But then Lauren Zima posts on the ABC set. She posts like, and you see the golf cart behind them, and then Tayshia and Zach are there. So like obviously they're filming, and very delayed.
Tasha's been doing like a lot of press. They went back to LA. They've been living in New York. And she's been doing a bunch of press. And I was nervous like that because at first I didn't see him in her stories. She's like, "Oh, I'm here in LA." And I was like, "Oh my God, like where's Zach? Are they together?" And then of course she posted that he's like chauffeuring her and all is good in the world. But yeah, if we get an After the Final Rose from them, it will be great because I feel like it'll help us all. And I don't know, we need an update on them. That's,
Love them.
Speaking of, because we mentioned how they're filming Women Tell All, probably also, I wanted to mention that, have you noticed on Instagram how none of the girls are interacting with each other? As if like in previous seasons, while the season's airing, like I remember Kelly would comment on Maddie's post and Maddie would comment on Kelly's, and like other people too. I just remember they were really close, and obviously they weren't because, you know, she was dating Peter and Maddie wasn't. So yeah, I just thought that was really interesting that the producers are making them do that, obviously, this year, because you could tell that like there are friendships in the house.
Yeah.
Well, all the comments are turned off. Like all of Anna's comments are turned off.
Well, yeah, because she got a really bad edit.
Yeah.
No.
Well, on that note,
no, I have thoughts on that, but
okay, we'll get into the episode.
Let's get into the episode.
Let's do it. Let's get into the episode. Let's just get right in. I feel like this couldn't be a more perfect segue because you're talking about all the girls, and I'm very excited, as we all know. Basically, just a quick recap of how the previous episode ended. The girls were on a group date, and Katie decided that she had enough of the drama. So she went directly to Matt, which typically, like we said last time, we find kind of annoying when the contestants go and waste their time, you know, talking to Matt. But in this case, it was necessary. So much toxicity in the house, and it had to be addressed. So at the beginning of this week's episode, we see Matt coming in, and he cuts right to the chase. He goes right into it, and he basically just addresses the girls and tells them, I've heard, you know, that the house is very toxic. I want to get right to the problem. I will not stand for bullying. And that's how the episode starts. And he starts by basically talking to Brittany, right? That was the first person he spoke to.
Yeah.
So good on him for doing that, like not going straight to like all the cattiness and making sure that Brittany was okay. He really did a good job, I think.
I think he was really bothered by the word escort, honestly. Like I think he was like offended on her behalf, and that's why he kind of grabbed her and wanted to hear the full story from her at that point. So he talks to Brittany, and she basically gets super emotional, and at that point is when she throws Anna completely under the bus and just says that, you know, the girls have been super mean.
Circling back to what Dylan had also tweeted, he made a comment on Twitter about how it's easy to make like a bad person look worse. Like it's easier to do that than to make a good person look bad. So I think with all of this, like with Anna, yes, she was like a little sketchy, like her fake crying and whatever, but I got the way that she like said it and then apologized. I felt like she was the type of person. She's not, I don't think she's a bad person. Like MJ, I think, is a really shitty person, and they're like doing her dirty because she deserves it. And like the same thing with Victoria. But like with Anna, I got the feeling that like, yeah, she said something mean, but right away she like regretted it.
Yeah.
You
the thing is, the producers are really, really, really good at like twisting your words also. So they know how to position questions and like plant thoughts in your head that make you say things that like then get edited in a way that could be misconstrued. Obviously, she said the escort comment in like she said it. There wasn't it wasn't during an ITM. It was like camera, a conversation.
Yeah.
So she did say it, but I agree that I think that they were really trying to like make her seem into more of a villain than she was.
Yeah, and I think Matt was very keen about like creating a safe environment for all the girls. So once like he knew more and Brittany brought it to his attention, like I like that he finally like grew some balls basically and took Anna aside, and he basically told her like, your words matter and what you say matters. And I think it's important that he did that, and he sent her home. I find it so funny that every time a bachelor or bachelorette like chooses to send somebody home, not at the rose ceremony, and it's like in a setting where all the girls are there, they just like strut through the house as if it's like so dramatic, and none of the girls are allowed to say goodbye to the person that's leaving. And they're all just like, oh my God, what's going on? Like, come on, like I would love to see them like say goodbye or like wave or something. I always find that funny.
I know. I wonder if like they actually have time to say goodbye and they just don't air it, and they only air the part when they're like physically leaving the house, you know?
Yeah, it's true. It's possible. Very possible. Anyway, Anna leaves at that point. That happened was Matt spoke to Ryan, I think, who is one of the like new girls. And this is like her first time actually speaking on camera, or should I say crying, because she basically cried the whole time. And fun fact, that's actually my middle name, and I spell it the same way. So I kind of like her. But anyway, so she basically tells Matt that Victoria is toxic. So now we're targeting, first it was Anna, now we're targeting Victoria, basically throwing out all the garbage.
We're taking out the trash.
The mean girls are going home.
Yeah. And Ryan said that she called her a hoe and it's very offensive. And again, Matt took offense to it. And he goes straight to Victoria, who he doesn't even shy away from like telling the complete truth, by the way. Like sometimes in the past, like bachelors will refrain from saying like who told him what. But Matt was like, yeah, Katie told me. And then Ryan told me. And then this is what I now know.
Yeah.
I
He
would
had to do it like that.
He had to.
I would say that bachelorettes shy away from saying who spills the drama, but bachelors usually kind of do say who it is because they're not smart. As we saw with Peter's season, he did the same. They don't understand girl drama. So
Exactly.
They throw them under the bus. They don't get
They don't
it.
realize the repercussions
Yeah.
of girl drama. They're
You
just like,
make
okay, we need to
amazing point.
take care of this. I don't care
Exactly.
who's,
They
So
don't
true.
think. Men don't think.
Yeah, it's
As
very
we all know.
Yeah, as we all know.
However, unlike Peter, Matt is a great bachelor. And as I said last night, Peter, wait, what did I say?
Yeah, you said something good.
Peter walked and tripped
tripped.
so that Matt could run and soar. And I'm a former / current Peter fan, but Matt is so much better. Anyways, back to the episode.
Yeah. So after that, he talks to Victoria, yet another dramatic conversation with Victoria where she basically denies that she said anything. Her bra makes a serious comeback, which I was laughing at. And Matt says, like, in no context ever should you be calling someone a hoe. And he gets up and walks off and says, like, I need to think about this. And it's at this point that Victoria like starts having a panic attack. She's hyperventilating. She's running around. She says if she gets eliminated, she's going to die. Like Matt cancels the cocktail party. Nobody's happy about it. Yeah. They get to the rose ceremony and we finally get the queen dethroned or abolished or whatever we want to say. But Victoria freaking got eliminated. And I love that he eliminated her in front of everyone.
Same.
That he embarrassed her. I love that.
He
and
didn't
when
have
she
a
walked
choice.
up to him like this at the end and was like, I know we all like are so over her and it's enough, but her exit was iconic.
No, it was some of the best television we've seen.
She was saying like, Matt's no longer a king. He's a jester, but I'm still a queen.
Like, okay. A poor jester saying that she's never going to date another Matt again. I was on the floor. Someone I follow on Twitter was like, Victoria just did the biggest blessing for all Matts everywhere.
Yeah,
like,
I saw that.
All safe now. Like, oh my God.
Let's talk about the one-on-one date with Rachel.
Oh my God.
Like, I promise this is not a spoiler because we literally don't know anything, but like we all think she wins at this point because
the L word was thrown around way too many times.
Yes.
4 times, right?
I think
3 or 4.
bottom 2.
I think definitely bottom 2. And
it's
if
top
not like
2.
Yeah, why do you guys always call it bottom 2? This is
So
what
it's the end. It's the end. It's not a pyramid.
It's the top. You get to the top and then you win. This is like
only bottom 2 when it's like American Idol and 2 people are risk of being eliminated. Like that's when it's bottom.
The same
2.
thing.
No, it's not because now it's the winner, the top 2. That's why you have the top
American
10
Idol.
American
There's
Idol.
still a winner.
Lana, when there's a top 10 on American Idol, it's not called the bottom 10.
So after her date, the date portion of the date, you know, they did the shopping. She was super happy. Matt clearly like is really into her. She goes, the producers, because they're crazy, make her go back to the house to get changed for dinner instead of just changing like where they were having the date. And Alana made 2 really good comments. One, did they turn Nemacolin into a department store? Because it's COVID, like where the hell did they go to a department store? And the second really amazing thing that she was wondering about is, were the bags that Rachel came back to the house with empty?
Okay, I'm glad you said that because no one responded to me when I said that.
As usual.
As usual, yeah.
A lot going on.
She was carrying so many bags and they like didn't look heavy.
I thought it was a good date. I thought like the evening portion was nice. Like they are very into each other and he's very into her. He's like smitten by her. But they said the album, well, not the full album, but they said
the falling in love.
And it's like pretty,
I mean,
the fact that he said it back. He said, not only did he say, after she said it, he said, I feel the same way with like the biggest grin on his face. And then a couple of minutes later, he goes, I'm falling in love with you too. Yeah. And I'm literally just like, we're on episode 5.
Yeah.
This is what's so annoying about the show is like we talk about it every friggin' week, but it's like I feel like we're missing so much because they're airing so much drama and like petty things that are happening between the girls
Yeah.
that literally who cares about. But we're seeing no footage of him actually building connections with these girls. And it's like, I
Yeah.
want to believe that you are falling in love with Rachel, but I've seen you speak 3 times for 30 seconds each. Like,
Exactly.
it's hard to believe.
It's
I
hard to
do feel
believe.
like this season more than any others, we're losing so much, and I keep seeing comments about it everywhere in articles. Like they cut this, they cut that. They're just
Okay.
A lot of
this
stuff
is
has
here
gotten
and
cut.
this is supposed to be here. Like,
Yes.
what is happening?
I saw a tweet. It wasn't a spoiler, but it was somebody was like quoting something from Reality Steve that basically said that normally you see 20% of a date. This season, they're showing 5 to 7% of a date. So you're seeing significantly less footage.
Yeah.
And they're doing a crazy job of moving around the ITMs. So like those to camera confessionals and having them displaced so that it pushes along different narratives. They're really displacing things to push certain narratives forward. And it's apparently like the editing hand is very heavy this season, heavier than before.
Why do they think they have to do that though? Like if they
That's my
learned anything
question.
from like Tasha, like that was like a genuine love story. You know what I mean? Like if they
Maybe
like,
something's lacking, right?
the next thing that happens is the next group date with again 50 women because there's so many freaking women on this season. I can't
I
keep
think
up.
now we're finally at like 15. I think I counted it. 15.
Yeah, there were only 13 girls on this date.
Yeah.
Can you imagine
Which is
like
still
going on
a
a date
lot.
with 12 other girls?
That's a lot of girls.
All
And
the girls.
yeah, so this
Like a
date,
group bat mitzvah.
it was a group. So yeah, so basically they're on the farm, they're doing all these like farm activities. The girls are trying to get Matt's attention. And honestly, like not much happened during the day other than the fact that MJ is now becoming the new villain and we all are super annoyed with her. And not only do I think she's becoming the villain, but like she's actually mean, like not the way that we were saying before how Anna was like not actually mean. Like I think MJ is just a mean, straight up mean girl. And the whole episode was just about her trying to show off. And clearly Matt like didn't even care. Like, did you see when he went and kissed Piper? Like
Yeah.
without even caring that he
He's
was
like
talking to
really into Piper.
Yeah.
It's so
I like
weird.
eliminated her a while ago.
Where is it coming from?
That's the
Is she
thing.
getting a one-on-one, right?
I think
Because
so.
a lot of the times in editing and well, not editing, but like the producers make like girls that the Bachelor like doesn't care about as much go up first for the one-on-ones, and then the girls he really likes about go at the end. So that because like obviously behind the scenes, the girls that he's actually interested in, he's giving them the most time, like on group days and stuff like that. So like, where is Piper? And like, why
It's
did
very-
he randomly run up to her and start making out with her in front of all the girls?
It
Yeah.
just comes back again to seeing a fucking fraction of every date. Like we don't know who he actually has connections with because we see nothing.
We see nothing.
I analyze the music at the limo entrances. That's how I know.
But I feel
She
like
didn't get the music.
sorry, back to MJ. Haters on Instagram, for those of you who don't know. Anyways, very good Instagram account. He said the funniest thing. He's like, MJ is the type of girl who's like, I don't make friends with girls. Like, I don't have girlfriends. And those are like the most problematic people who like girls who like can't have friends that are girls.
Yeah.
She's
so
just
true.
so-
really dislike her.
She's just so aggressive and so harsh and just not likable.
She's super harsh. And at the beginning, I thought she was like really cool, really spunky and pretty. But like the whole date, like especially in the evening portion, because this is when Matt spoke to her, right? It was during this group date when Matt had like a moment with MJ and he just said to her, you know, there have been some girls in the house that have mentioned that you're the antagonist and whatever. And then when she came back to like the group setting and she said out loud, like, who told Matt that I was the antagonist? I lead by example and I preach harmony and peace and all these like weird things. And I loved Jasenia in that moment. She's like, yeah, it was me. Like I said something, it's true. You are the antagonist. Like you're a mean girl. And
Did we see that conversation though? Like, I don't remember seeing like.
I don't think we saw
Okay.
Jasenia tell
we did.
Matt that. We did?
oh no,
She
we didn't. Oh no, we didn't.
We didn't see
Sorry.
Jasenia like tell
Tell
Matt
Matt.
that
Yeah,
MJ
that's
is a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
But we saw Jasenia tell MJ like, yeah, it
Yeah.
was me.
No, but
Yes.
I found that a bit surprising that we didn't see that conversation between Matt and a contestant. Like, we're just seeing so much girl on girl that we're like, that's
It's true.
a conversation that should have been aired.
It's true. And up
Very
until
weird.
Matt said something to MJ, like the girls said that you did this, we knew MJ was a problem from the editing, but I didn't know that like Matt knew that she was a problem.
Right.
Because we didn't see it.
We never saw any girl go to Matt and throw MJ under the bus or like red flag MJ or put a target on her back. So when he brought it up, I was like, this is like, yes, this is happening, but like, how do you know? Like,
When after we talk about Kit, we'll go into that intense part at the
Oh,
end.
I forgot about Kit.
Yeah.
I honestly forgot about
Because
her. I
Kit
thought we were
only
going
got in, she didn't get a full date. She literally just got like
There's
dinner.
nothing to
portion.
say.
Yeah. There's not much to say. Like, honestly, like I feel, and I actually saw that Kit was on the Bachelor Happy Hour podcast with Rachel Lindsay and
Really?
Becca Kufrin. Yeah. And I didn't watch the whole thing, but everybody's comments were like, you know, you're super well spoken and like thank you for like explaining who you are, because like she says often that she's misunderstood because she comes from this like rich family and her mother's a fashion designer and all that. So we learned like, I guess, a little bit about her, but I saw something else funny that someone was like, yeah, it looks like a father like having like dinner with making cookies with his daughter. Like she looks so young and she is so young. So to
There's
me,
an
like
8-year age difference.
Yeah.
Not that that's like a big deal, but she's also 21. Like,
Yeah.
not. Why are you on the show?
Yeah.
I thought it was a very irrelevant date. I really didn't pay that much attention.
I'm just confused at the part because in the like promo from the very beginning of the season, there's a scene of Kit in a hot tub with him, and like they don't do that on group dates, and we didn't see this on the one-on-one. So is it like a part of the date that we didn't see, or is like she getting like a hometown date?
No, it's got to be that we're not seeing it.
it's got to be that they eliminated it. It's got to be that they edited out because they've been editing out so much. And like, I feel like Matt probably has a hot tub in his little villa at Nemacolin. So they probably just edited it out.
Yeah, maybe.
Kind of rude that they sent her to the hot tub after like eating cookies, you know.
Maybe it was before the cookies.
Oh my God. Anyway, she'll make it a few more weeks probably. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think he's intrigued by her, but that's about it.
Definitely like maybe bottom 7, top 7, you know.
Oh, here we go. Bottom and top. Bottom or top.
Bottom 7. But
And finally, we get to see a 2-on-1 or the beginning of a 2-on-1, which is obviously between MJ and Jasenia because of the conflict we saw on the group date. And the episode ended, they're waiting for Matt. And like, you can tell MJ is not here for it. And Jasenia is just like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you're not nice. She was so well spoken. This is the drama we want to see.
Okay, so this is my thought. Like after watching last night's episode and reflecting on the episode and like that last scene there of them going head to head, a little tete-a-tete action, my actual thought is like, I just feel that we've been severely deprived of like the drama we love and we crave on this show, that now we're finally getting something and we're like, yes, like this is it. This is what we've been waiting for. Because we've had the worst, most like stupid, lame Victoria drama this whole time. That's just been like a waste of time on our TV. And now we're getting this and we're like, oh my God, this is it. This is what we've been waiting for. But realistically, in hindsight, if this was any other season, I feel like we would be like, get this off our screen. Like, we don't want to see this shit. Like they're put them in the limo, like side by side, rubbing elbows. Like it's so fucking fake and scripted. But I do have to say that I love the way that Jasenia like snap back, clap back at MJ, and MJ was just like trying to shut her up. And the best part of this entire scene was when Jasenia broke the fourth wall and looked dead into camera and was like, we'll see what happens when this all airs. The truth will come to light when this is on TV, and just like fully made everyone aware, including like MJ, the producers, everyone behind the scenes, like this is a TV show. You can only fucking fool yourself because everything's being filmed.
I love that you said that. I love when they break the fourth wall.
Yeah,
I love
so
when they mention that it's a show. Like Bravo has started doing it so much and I love it. Love it.
My thing with MJ is that, like I said before, how it's easy to make a bad person look worse. Like I think MJ like is like genuinely just like not a nice person. Like unlike Anna, who might actually not be such a bad person, but she did say not nice things. So it was easy to edit her. But I really do think that like MJ is just like a classless, nothing special.
She's mean.
Doesn't need to be there. Not nice. Like
she just came off super, super harsh and abrasive from the beginning, and
she's aggressive.
Very aggressive. So,
and I think when Matt shows up, he's going to be like a bit awkward. I mean, we saw 2 seconds of him showing up. So we'll see. Next week looks really eventful. There's going to be a lot happening.
I'm looking forward to the winding down, to when it gets less and less girls and we get those like long dates, and it's just fantastic.
I agree. So that's this week's episode of The Bachelor. Another crazy eventful week. We are excited that the garbage has been tossed and
we took it out.
There's going to be more villains next week, different villains, but we'll see what happens then.
We wanted to start a cute little segment on what we're reading, what we're watching. Just if you guys are looking for some inspo, So I could start.
Yeah.
I'm currently rewatching Gilmore Girls for the 1000th time. I have that thing that like the whole internet is talking about, like that anxiety disorder where people just keep rewatching shows that like they already watched. So that's my thing. Um, I just finished Firefly Lane, How to Fail at Flirting, and the Girl with No Job book. I think Leanna, you read the same 3 books as me.
I have read those all. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I've been literally reading the same book.
they've
for the
been
last month.
okay. Nothing really to write home about, honestly.
Yeah.
So, what about you, Samantha?
Well, I'm very proud to say that I finished Firefly Lane for our book club that Adina is hosting. I'll
That's
save my
Adina's
thoughts
book
for
club.
book club, but I liked it and I would recommend it truthfully to people, but it is a little bit long. So I'm a little bit of a slow reader. I'm a new reader, so it took me some time. And I just started Girl with No Jobs book, which I'm liking. And I know you said like what we're reading, what we're watching, but I also want to say what I'm listening to. And I
Oh.
will be listening to is Dan and Shay's new song that is coming out on February 5th. I was kind of hoping it would be an album. It's not. It's going to be a song. But listen, we're going to take what we can get. And that's what I will be listening to.
It's been a while since we got an album from them. I'm a little disappointed, but whatever.
It's okay. We'll take what we can get, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
They've
I
had a
didn't
whole
see what
year.
I'm watching. I'm kind of not really watching anything. I don't know why, but I'm watching Shameless again. Because
So
I never
good.
finished it.
I never finished either.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah. What am I reading? What am I watching? I just finished the book club book, also Firefly Lane. And I am now in the middle of a book called The X Talk about 2 people that co-host a radio show. Yes,
It's on my
Adina?
list. It's on my list.
It's very cute. It's a slow burn, but it's very cute. I'm enjoying it. And in terms of what I'm watching, you guys all inspired me a few weeks ago when I was embarrassed to say that I never watched Sex in the City. So I'm now watching Sex in the City. I'm on season 4. I've been like plowing through. I just can't wait to get to the movies. But now I'm happy to like announce that I know who Aiden is because I couldn't contribute last time. And yeah, it's I hate Carrie, but like it's fine. It's fine. I'm enjoying. It is what it is.
I also
Can
haven't
you-
watched the full show, by the way, but I've
Me
been watching the
too.
movies. So
Oh my god. Yeah. So now
Can
I'm
you
watching.
tell me who her love interests have been so far? So you've met 8, like the big ones.
Yeah, she's like right now in between Aiden and Big
Okay.
is where we're at.
The
But
prime.
yeah, it's
Right.
great. It's a fun time. I find that it actually, a lot of people were saying that the show like doesn't stand the test of time, and some parts of it don't, but a lot of it really, really does. So I'm having a good time. Okay, Alana, what are you watching? What are you reading?
Kelsey Breeze. I am also reading Firefly Lane for book club on Thursday. I've got about 100 pages left. I will be done in time. Don't worry. But yeah, it's going okay. I think you guys all said the last 100 pages are like the best part of the book. So I am confident I will make it. And then watching, I feel like I've been struggling with watching lately, but I think it was last week. I went to Netflix to like try and find like kind of like background noise. And there was a new show that had 5 seasons and it was #1 in Canada. It's called Superstore. It's with America Ferrera.
Yes.
So like, I think it's so funny. I highly recommend. It's an
I don't
ensemble
feel like
cast.
laughing.
No. It's an ensemble cast. Did you say you don't feel like laughing?
But wait, I'm not gonna lie. Like I feel you. Like sometimes I don't want to watch a show. Like
No, but like
How I Met Your Mother or
Yeah.
Friends. Like
that's what I thought. I just thought it was going to be like background noise to like, I wasn't even going to watch the whole thing. I thought maybe I'll get like 8 episodes out of the first season and then I'll move on to something else. But like, it's an ensemble cast of people that work in a Walmart type store.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
And it's just like, there's
It's just
just
funny?
something, it's so funny. Like at certain points, they'll just like between scenes, they'll like cut to like a random shopper in the store doing something like really weird. And it's just like,
That's something you would do in a store.
like, I caught myself laughing.
That's so fun.
Okay.
I think it's a good one.
I
I
need to
think.
add it to the list.
I think if you need just something like that's like easy background noise, like don't really care, I think you'll all enjoy it.
That's just The Office for me, always my background noise. But
Never watched it in full.
Me neither. I've never seen any.
I can't use
I
The
don't
Office's background
understand.
noise. It was Friends, but then like you have to go to Crave for that, and like Netflix is just like always right there.
so just sorry, before we end, like let me just get this straight. Like all 3 of you, like no Sex in the City, some like Kardashian discrepancies, like no Office. Like I'm just so confused, like who I'm doing a pop culture podcast with. Like
Well, we all watched One Tree Hill. We all watched Gossip Girl.
Fine.
We all watched The OC.
Well,
we all
okay.
watched
I
90210.
you want to know why? None of you need to watch The
What?
Office because none of you are on dating apps.
I
And the
watched-
number one
I
thing
watched
on
The
dating apps is The Office.
Oh my god.
Okay, one, I watched The Office, and there's no number two. It's just literally, I've watched it. So
I
just
get a
disappointed.
bit lazy sometimes. Like I'm trying to watch Gilmore Girls, but like the episodes are long. Like I had the same issue with Dawson's Creek. I made it 5 seasons in, I loved it, and now I just find like, why are the episodes like dragging on? Like I don't know. I used to have way more patience for TV than I do now. I don't know why. I just like
Man.
That's fair.
anyway.
Fair assessment.
Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to another episode of Rehashing the Podcast. You can find us on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on SoundCloud, or you can watch us in video format. Hopefully we weren't too glitchy tonight, but we're on YouTube. If you are watching us, hey, how are you? Our Instagram is at Rehashing Podcast. Feel free to slide into our DMs, send us a note if you have any questions. You could also email us rehashingpodcast@gmail.com. If anyone emails these days, I don't know. I feel like no one's emailing questions these days, but that's really it for this episode. It was so much fun. I love this. This is the highlight of my week. I love hashing it out with all of you, and I cannot wait till next week. So
Same.
see you guys soon.
See you next Wednesday.
Bye.